This is Iron Sharpens Iron Council. Welcome to the evolution. Is it recording? Okay, so hi guys, it's Ann Smith with a special guest, Jason. And we are here, and I am so happy that we're here because backstory, Jason contacted me via email, right? And he just don't even realize how impressed I was with all that he had done so far, but he was very unsure of himself. So Jason was actually the inspiration for me to go on this the video rant, like, people, you guys, you're beautiful, you don't know how great, how awesome you are. You remember that one that I sent you?
I lost audio. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the lately, because of the quarantine and everything that's going on with, COVID-19, Zoom has been just very funky and just it just hasn't been that reliable. I tried to switch over to another meeting, and it's not working. I can't even register. The other one is GoToMeeting,
right?
And I can't even complete the registration. I think that they've been swarmed with people trying to, stay connected.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that we can do. We just have to kind of sit and wait.
Yeah, no problem.
For the animation to resume, and it just keeps freezing up. But ordinarily, Zoom is very reliable, but they're just, taxed. The servers are at their breaking point. So anyway, I just wanted to say that a lot of us, we feel very isolated in our processes, and you feel very, very much alone, and you're not sure if what you're doing is even making a difference in your world, let alone how do you feel that you can be of service or of help to anyone. And so, right? Were you feeling that way?
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it, because I was feeling that way. I've been feeling that way, and I still feel that way from time to time, especially if I'm embarking upon a whole new path. Oh my gosh. Uncharted territory is the worst, but the best way that we can elevate, the vibe and feel better about ourselves is by networking. You never know. I don't want to beat the dead horse, but basically, you never know what part of the story that you're going to help. What part of your story is going to impact someone else's life? You just never know. Just unpack it. Just speak it. Just speak your truth. There's no shame in being, victimized, but don't stay in the victimhood.
I lost your audio again.
What?
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Damn it. Okay, so whenever we lose audio, raise your hand so that I can get like a visual.
Okay.
And then I can pause, because Lord knows I can't remember everything I said. So we're gonna try to make it through, and also try to make it short, because that's another hiccup that Zoom is having. It can't handle long videos anymore. Not right now. It's too jam-packed. So basically, I wanted to read this if you don't mind, can I read your email? Okay, let me go. I'm not gonna bring it up on the screen or anything, but I'm just gonna go over to it, because I brought it up. It said, "Good afternoon, Anne. In my research for saving my home, I came across a gentleman named, and I won't name his name. He says everything is equity and you can always win because, as you stated in your Foreclosure Reveal podcast, they do not come with clean hands. I am in the process of sending my administrative process to disclaim the trust. This is very powerful, and I believe this is the information to help everyone in every situation. I wanted to bring this to your attention because you have been helpful to me, and I'm sure you probably already know this, but if not, then I'm glad to share this with you." And what else? You sent me some, it was about the the virus. And so that's when I began my little campaign to get you to talk about it on camera, but you were very reluctant because you felt like you didn't have anything of value to share. Let me tell you, your life is valuable and your experience is valuable. And so how did I finally tell people, how were you finally convinced to share, to feel empowered to share your story? Talk about that.
Well, I was just, I was very hesitant, and I still am, but I think that a lot of people are on this journey, and I feel like I've done a lot of processes that have got me nowhere. I started probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. My friend told me I could stop paying my mortgage because there is no lawful money, and I did that, and I got into a bunch of trouble with the banks, and they got a lawyer, sent me a bunch of stuff in the mail, said I'd have to pay for lawyer fees and top of my mortgage stuff. So I filed I went online, did some research, and I came across Jan's website, and he has some paperwork called CAFV, Conditional Acceptance for Value. It's like an administrative process. So I sent that to the bank, and they sent me some information back, and they said, "Listen, you still owe your mortgage. You signed for it." And they sent me a copy of my mortgage. After that, I came across another gentleman, and he helped me syntax a mortgage statement, which I sent to them, and I had that certified, registered, and a couple months later, they sent it back to me.
It's the backlog that's happening over at Zoom. Okay, are you back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know where it stopped. Where should I start from?
You said that you found a second website and sent in the A for B information, but the bank responded by telling you that you still owe, and
Correct.
You were about to go into the next phase.
Right. So they started foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. I came across another gentleman named Brad online. He helped me syntax a mortgage statement, which I had certified, registered, and I sent that to the bank. So it was about a month and a half. I got that back after I had sent out the second part of that process. I got both of them back unsigned for. So I was a little discouraged. Then I just kept researching everything, and I was holding them off by writing them emails saying, "Hey, listen, I want to save my house. I'll try to work with you guys. Just send me paperwork." And so after doing all the research that I have right now, that gentleman told me about expressing the trust. So I did research on that, and it seems like all of the gurus are all talking about the trust.
Jason, can you speak up a little bit?
Sure.
I had my volume. I kept turning it up, and I was like still having a hard time
Yeah,
hearing
I'm sorry. I did talk pretty low.
you.
So all the gurus, it seems like they're talking about expressing the trust, and that's the way to go, because once you do that, you'll get a lawyer to jump out of his seat, pretty much. They can't really express the trust, and once they do, they have to treat it as a trust, and that's when you get your private meeting, get everything handled. I'm in that process now. I just sent out a letter about a week ago, so I'm waiting to see what happens.
Yes, and so you haven't received any response yet from them?
No,
And who did you send it to? The lawyer or to the bank directly?
I sent it to the bank. I sent it to the CEO, the CFO, and the comptroller.
Okay, so they initiated the bank initiated the court proceedings for the foreclosure?
Yes.
Okay. And the latest email that I sent to you, I don't have it in front of me. I just had, what did you think about that? I just basically told you that, you know, as a last resort, because I wasn't sure where you were in your process. And I said, as a last resort, are you bringing it up?
Yes.
Okay.
Shortest and quickest way to get more time is to send a motion declaring you've exhausted your administrative remedies. You have not exhausted your administrative remedies, and your prayer is for release to be granted 6 months. Send out notices before court proceedings, so you're
Wait. Can you read that again, because we're breaking up again?
Sure.
It's not you. It's the whole Zoom connection.
Okay. The shortest and quickest way to get more time is to send a motion declaring you have not exhausted your administrative remedies, and your prayer for relief is to be granted 6 months to send out your notices before court proceedings, so you are not rushed to judgment.
See, that entire email, as short as it is, it's a powder keg that that threatens, you know, the judge's mandate to follow the law. It lets them know, but in a very sneaky way, that you know the law and you know that no one is above the law, you know, but you're not saying it, you know, so direct. You know, all of there's so many little key terms in there that are sprinkled through that it'll get their attention. Okay, you know, rush to judgment, administrative remedies, need more time, and because it demonstrates that you are peaceful, non-belligerent, and that you are making every attempt, and you need to have the time to make every attempt to come to a peaceful resolution with the opposing counsel, because you are counsel, there's opposing counsel, so you're making every effort, so they cannot deny that. To deny that is actually against the law. But if you put that in written out in motion form, then you know, with your name, the same way that you have been getting court paperwork, you just mimic that. That's it. You know, with the court heading at the top and your name and their name and all of that. The only thing that you would do that's different that I forgot to say is always refer to yourself as defendant in error. That's it. You don't have to go through sui juris, this, that, and the next. Just, you know, whatever title that they give you, it's always in error because they have no authority to. Who are you? Did you name me? Were you there on the day that I came into this world? You can't give me no name. You can't title me. So whatever they call you, in error. Whatever they refer to you. So that's the only thing. And so, you know, I just wanted to just commend you for not giving up. I know it is a challenge, and it seems like it's, you know, a mountain, you know, I keep thinking of Mount Vesuvius when I was in Italy, but basically it's just an overwhelming task that, as if you don't have any background in law, like I didn't, I still don't. I don't have a background. I'm just studying here. I'm just a fellow student, And I get overwhelmed because I'm in the middle of my own, you know, battles and trying to slay dragons, my own dragons. And then, but my heart melts because the need is so great and we're all lost and confused. You know, we're all kind of, but I feel like the best way to defeat this awful mess that we've been, you know, put into, is to work together. That's the best thing that we could do. You know, why, you know, scurry over here and be ashamed and feeling bad? No, you didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. These are things that were done to us. They are trying to victimize us, but we're not victims, or we're not going to lay down and die and let them just, you know, get away with it. You know, as far as my house, I've started to learn this long after my foreclosure. You see, is there any guilt or shame? What did I do wrong? They did it to me, right? They did it to me. I experienced some major family tragedies that involved major earth-shattering health events, and it rocked my world. They didn't care about that. They were heartless. They didn't care. They don't care what you're going through. You could have just come out of heart-to-heart surgery. They don't care. And so, you know, it's just the sin and the shame, but, you know, we are taking back our power one family at a time. But I know that networking, you know, is so much more powerful than, you know, us fighting each battle individually. You know, because when we come together, we can network, we can mastermind, we can strategize and win and start winning.
Yeah.
So, you know, after this interview, I'm going to send you a couple of links that really was pivotal in me kind of like getting like what's going on, because we don't even know. There's such a veil there that we don't even know or realize what's happening, that it's all about contracts and it's all about the trust. So, you know, but it took me, 3 years to discover that, because it's so convoluted, and then the people who are self-proclaimed gurus and experts, which I am neither one of those things. I rail against those titles. I'm like, don't call me that, because I don't like any of those titles. But you know, they add confusion instead of clarity, and that's been my frustration. And with dealing with other people, trust me, I have downloaded a hard drive full of, you know, foreclosure defenses, right? Visited probably hundreds of websites. This was back when I had, within the first 6 months alone, after I had already lost the house, I was just furious and just, you know, searching. And that's how I got ripped off and got taken advantage of by the gurus and experts, you know, $7,000, you know, to non-lawyers. You know, just because
I joined his site to become a third party creditor. And then, you know, doing all this research in a short amount of time, I just felt like everybody kind of has their own process and everybody's a little different. And I started to follow one, and then I found something that I thought would be better, and then something better, and something better. And it kind of left me like scrambled. And I didn't know what to do. I know that a private administrative process is something that everybody can do. I think becoming a private American national, so something to get you out of the system and not be a citizen of the United States.
You definitely touched on the part of the problem. If you ask 100 different people for a solution, you're gonna get 100 different solutions. And there is no, right? There is no cookie cutter. There is no straight road to you know, the resolution that you're seeking, because every case is unique, and you just simply have to know I've been saying this till I'm starting to get blue in my face. You have to just know the law of your case, and that means literally in your state and in your court, the courthouse where your case is being handled, everything is so unique to that particular, you know, situation. And so you would have to learn the rules of the court, of that courtroom, of that courthouse and how they operate, and then just operate within that. Now, I just did a story on a man who, I don't know if you saw that video on Hassan Bennett.
No.
A man just minded his business. It was in his house and ended up in prison for 13 years for a crime that he did not commit.
Wow.
Okay. Now, did he just give up and say, no, he fought through 4 lawyers that could not get him out. And after 13 years, he started studying and he got himself the vindication that he was seeking. So it's not difficult. Now, if he can do that behind bars, okay, and that's pressure. That's serious pressure. That's stress and life altering.
Yeah.
So we can do this, but I believe that it just takes all of us working together, because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't have all of the answers, because I can just show you what I know, and then you can show me what you know, and we can work together as a team. You know, and so that's why I started the study group. That's why I started the study group on Facebook. Are you in the study group? I'm not even sure.
I don't think so. I actually started my own group called Way to Redemption, and
see, that's how you do it.
Everything that I think would help people, I put on there. But right now, there's only 7 people in the group, I think, or 8. But I put up some videos and all the paperwork that I find to be really helpful. And I was very selective about who I brought into the group, because I feel like, there's all these people out there, but everybody just tries to take information or not really give anything helpful. So I wanted to bring everybody that knows something together, just like
a mastermind. That's what you're doing. You definitely. And has that really helped to create that a higher level of understanding, or is it just adding to the reservoir of information, or how's that helping you?
Right now, it's just helping me understand more about trust law, and equity, and maxims. So once you get into equity, you don't have to worry about law per se, and all the statutes and codes and everything, because there's only really 20 maxims that you have to worry about in equity. Once you get in there, you're private.
Oh, okay. Wait.
You froze, so I didn't know if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, people, it's, I hate to say that people are overcomplicating it, because you don't realize that you're overcomplicating it, because you don't know what you don't know. Right. So it's a vicious cycle until you break free by continuously doing the research. I'm going to tell you, that's literally what it took. I don't have any like secret sauce or secret methods. It literally came from me reviewing the information over and over until I started to get it, right? Until I started to get it. And so, like I would read something that sounded familiar and looked familiar, and realize that it was familiar because it was something that I had reviewed, a few months prior, but it was the exact piece of the puzzle to where I was at currently, you see? So it just came from exposing myself to the information. I just kept exposing myself and to the information. And then it just not yet.
No, okay.
Okay. So I said, the last thing I remember saying is a pattern started to emerge because I just simply kept going at it. And, at first, you first start out, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. It just looks like a mess and it looks like it's an impossible task. But then you start putting the pieces together. And believe me, I have a ton of journal, what do you call it, the spiral notebooks? And I could write about 3 encyclopedias with just my notes alone. But the pattern will emerge. I promise you. Don't quit. Don't give up. There was a man. There was a man that actually, for people who have already lost their homes, like me, to foreclosure. It gave me hope when I finally discovered a man who had reversed the foreclosure after 14 years of fighting. So if he can do it after 14 years, who knows? Maybe we can reverse engineer the process to shorten the time. You never know, because in that 14 years, he was just, wandering in the wilderness, just lost. But now that he won, but I wasn't able to pinpoint everything that he did or find him, because I would have loved to, had a discussion with him as to, what did you find? What did you file? This, that, and the next. But it was enough to find him. It was enough to learn that it was possible. Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay.
What came up on my screen, it says that your bandwidth is low. So
yeah, that keeps happening, and I don't know. I tell you, sorry about that. I don't know what to do to fix that. It just keeps happening ever since the pandemic started.
If you have a, do you go on Wi-Fi or are you hardwired?
Wi-Fi.
Okay. And is the router located in your room, or is it in a different room?
I'm in the same room with it. Like less than 2 feet away.
Okay.
It's very close, but it's just, I don't know, the bandwidth is being taxed, maybe because everyone is trying to stay in touch.
Yeah.
I
bought a really good router. It's a Netgear Orbi. It was $400 and something, but it goes up to, the speeds go up to 2 gig. So
it's definitely worth it.
Something to look into.
Okay. All right. I will check into that. But so knowing that someone else is going through the same thing, or better yet, if they conquered the same thing that you're going through, that is so empowering. I mean, that just put the fuel in me, and it just really, and so that's all I just wanted, I didn't want you to be like, oh, we got to be all professional and, stoic. And no, if you want to cry and do the ugly cry, go right ahead. If you're mad, be mad and lash out at the system. And that's, and that's perfectly fine. But I do want to commend you on starting your mastermind group. That's excellent. That's how I started my group. I only invited 7 people who I felt that I could mastermind with. It literally started with just the 8 of us. I had invited 7 people because I had gotten tired of the negativity that was prevalent in the other groups that I had joined.
Right.
When I was just new and knee-high to a grasshopper, I was just kind of like, oh my God, it's already confusing. And then all this negativity and infighting and name calling. Come on, we're not in high school. We're not in junior high school. So I left, and that's what I did. But then what happened was the group started to grow. The group started to grow because those people kept asking, and can I add this one? Can I add? And then there you go. So now we have, it's not a bad thing, but now we have over 2,000 members. But with that comes problems that you have to sort of manage, and try to keep it positive. So the group, but I highly recommend that you join us. It's a free study group. It's Iron Sharpens Iron Council on Facebook, and add to it, because you never know who else you can reach out to. There are people from different levels of understanding. Okay. And so, it's from someone who is newly awakened to the truth, brand spanking new, never tried anything, but they're aware, to people who are well studied and well versed and have a lot of successes, under their belt. They're still learning, growing. So, it just gives you the opportunity to network and mastermind on a larger platform. If you're interested, if you want to. That's the group that I feel sort of the safest to hang out, because I tell you, people lose their humanity when it comes to, operating on social media. They forget that that's a human being behind that username.
Yeah.
And they just, I call them, a lot of people call them, keyboard warriors. They start problems, come in and just,
come in and spit some garbage and then leave.
Garbage and then leave. And just wreck your whole day and leave. So, but going back to the solutions and the remedies, because that's how my mind is geared towards. Let's not talk about how bad things are. We already know how bad things are. Things are bad, but we need to talk about the problems and the solutions. I really believe that goes hand in hand. If you just want to complain, I don't want to talk about it. What's that going to do? What good is that going to do? How's that going to feed my mind? But if you want to talk about the problems and possible solutions, or even asking probing questions that get me to think about the solutions, now we're cooking with grease. Now we can get something done. Now you have my attention. But just asking me, and how do I do this? And what? I get that all the time. Do I look like the authority on everything?
Just getting houses for free for everybody.
Right. I'm out here trying to do my level best to help myself and to help people by sharing my journey. That's it. I don't tell people what to do. I tell people what I do. And then if you want to do it too, then, join the group. But to hit me up on email and trying to keep it all private and between me and you and no, I can't. No, we're gonna help each other, but we're gonna help the team as well.
Right.
Okay. So you can do that notice in motion form, the one, asking for your prayer for relief is asking for more time so that you can exhaust your administrative process. That's in your bag. Keep that in your bag. That's gonna gain you at least more time. It's gonna postpone it. So
okay, you're back.
Okay. Thank you, Zoom. Thank you. Let's not curse it. Let's praise it. You're gonna work with us. I lost my train of thought. What? Oh God, I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Remind me. Help me. This is what happens when you're over 50. I'm just
46. I'm 46.
Huh? 46. Oh, I tell you, that's the other thing. We have other things. We have other things going on. We don't have space or room in the mind. We have things we need to be thinking about other things that are more enjoyable. But this has our time and attention because, it's life changing. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to save my house because I have two small children, 5 and 11, and. I don't know what I would do without the home that I live in. So.
Yes. How, not that it matters, but how long have you been in that particular house?
I think 5 years now.
Oh, good. Okay. So what's going to happen is, again, as a measure of relief, you should at least take some comfort from that one remedy. Okay, that one motion will be granted. That just enter that, And because that's what I entered without knowing anything. I didn't know anything. When I tell you anything, I was brand spanking new. I had just was like in a scramble, and
Well, you did
I
time.
had gotten a notice. But because I didn't know any better. See, what I sent to you is the much improved version. That you got version, 2.0.
Right.
But the first version that I did, that I submitted, it was longer than that. It was longer than what I sent to you, and it was going into just off into the weeds, man. I was all over the place. I was telling the judge about my whole life story, and it was just too much. So I asked. The prayer for relief was still the same prayer for relief, which was more time, but I didn't base it on the correct standing, which is the one I gave you, which is administrative. We're not back yet?
Yep.
Okay, back yet? Okay. So the part of the statement that I gave you, administrative remedy, that's a legal statement. That's a legal phrase. That's a legal term that the judge is going to recognize, and what was the other one? Rush to judgment. They know that they can be removed from the bench if they, rushed any litigant into judgment. That's against their oath. Okay, so all of those sprinkled through. I wish I knew, then what I know now, but it's okay because, we live and we learn and we share. And, if I had to go through it again, this is what I would do. But mine, as raggedy and messy as it was, I didn't get the 6 months because I asked for 6 months. My prayer for relief, I did ask for 6 months, but I got 30 days, which was a miracle because here I had never, that was my very first motion. Didn't know anything, right. Didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
In fact, 3 lawyers told me it wasn't going to work. So I made sure to circle back to the one that was the most discouraging. And I called him and I was like, hey, it worked. I didn't get the 180 days that I requested, but I did get 30 days. And he was shocked, flabbergasted, and was like, oh my God, can you send it to me? Let me know. Really? Now you want me to teach you? Yes, the same one that was discouraging and told me just start moving. And so that, that was encouraging. That was very empowering because here I didn't know anything about law. I don't have a legal background. And I won. And then, in fact, it was so interesting. I forgot to mention this during the other video, but with that award of the 30-day extension, the judge was also kind enough to place in the order that I am open to request another 30 days. It was literally in the order that she awarded me. And so when I did that, because I was like, okay, I got 30-day reprieve. Okay, come on, back to the drawing board. What am I going to do? I didn't know anything. This was like 3 years ago. And I hadn't even joined any groups. I was just scrambling, Googling was my main activity of the day for all day, 24 hours a day. And I couldn't find anything that was solid. And I just, I did ask for the additional 30 days, but that was denied. Come to find out, it was the judge that had granted my kind-hearted judge that received my first one. But unbeknownst to me, during the next rotation, can you still hear me? I got the
Yep. No, I can hear you.
During the second rotation, during the second time, a rotation had taken place, and I had, unbeknownst, had the worst judge to review my second request for extension. He's just known to deny, doesn't care what's going on, what the background story is. He is not for the people. So, because I did a research, and I was like, but damn, I was just following, the order from before. What could go wrong? I felt a little,
discouraged.
A
little discouraged.
I felt encouraged by the words that was in the order, but then when he just denied it, I felt knocked down to 1,000. Like, what the hell? What did I do?
Right.
You felt like, my God. I even included my motion with the previous order, and I referenced it. I referenced the order stating that I had the right to ask for another extension. But the key is that I did not know then what I know now is you have to be specific to something that they recognize in law. See, I was talking things that they didn't recognize in law. You now have that. You need time, you need extension, and you are expressing that you are peaceful and non-belligerent by you saying that you want that more time to exhaust your administrative remedies. Okay, there's a lot of mechanism that's going on behind those words, but those are words that they recognize in law, in operation of law. But I didn't know these things back then. So, I ended up losing my house of 20 years. Do they care? Not at all. But it's material things that you can, that don't matter. You can replace that. The greatest regret of losing the house for me, anyway, I don't know, everyone has their own, experience, but for me, it's the memories, okay? Because my first child wasn't born there, but my second one was. So that's the only home that he has known. He's 13 years old now, and that's the only home that he had known. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, when he was 10, he had to lose the only home that he has ever known. And so that was very, heartbreaking for me as a mother. Yeah. I was given the opportunity to be blessed by bringing him through me, okay? And I feel like I failed him. Not some, you can do whatever you want to me and talk, I can handle it, but leave the children alone. Don't mess with the children. That's when Mama Bear and Papa Bear comes out. And so you continue to fight. So I owe him the obligation to continue to fight for what's right. And again, I didn't know everything that I know now, but now that I know, and especially given the fact that I found actually 3 cases, 2 additional cases after that man that lost and reversed the foreclosure, I found 2 other ones. So I have all that in my arsenal, and it's just that with the group's growth and expansion so fast, it's taking my time and attention away for me to even take care of my own stuff, because I've been helping everyone else, just giving of my time freely, for free. There was no charge involved, but it took away my time, so I had to start limiting my time. It's not that I think I'm any better or above anybody. It's just that I got stuff to do for me, and so, but yeah, I would highly recommend that you join the group. And I'll send you the link, or you can, basically you just have to go to, because I got tired of having to answer the same question over and over and over. So if you just go to the main website, can you hear me? Okay, yep. You froze too. IronSharpensIronCounsel.com, and then scroll down to the footer section, and then click on the About page. I just put everything on the About page. It's all the links, everything, the free study group, the podcast.
Yeah, everything's awesome.
Right there. Right there. Just go, anything concerning me or where you can find me on the interwebs, is on the about page. And so I think that if you start talking about, if you join us and you start talking about, because I talked about foreclosure too a lot, but if you join us and start talking about foreclosure, you never know the type of attention that you're going to get in terms of miss to say that it was all me. It wasn't. It was just by the gathering, the gathering of everyone just contributing,
Yeah.
It might just be a phrase, it might just be one little sentence, but because so many people are involved, I was just collecting it and I was just putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and before you know it, I had half of the puzzle complete. And then the next few months, I had another portion, and it's just a build to. You're constantly growing and evolving and learning. I promise you, there is no end in sight in terms of research, but you can conclude your cases by the research and by networking. So that's like the biggest advice that I can give you, if I may, because I have no right to advice. I am no expert by any stretch of the imagination.
I think the only thing that right now, with all my studies, what I'm stuck at is, like I said, USFL is a secured party creditor. He uses UCC. And then on the other end, it's people who just say, listen, you were born and God is the Father, and you don't need to worry about any man-made stuff, laws or codes or anything like that, or write any, ask any permissions to be a private American national or to be a secure party creditor, because you are a child of God. That's it. So it kind of leaves you on one end, you have this legal stuff. Should you do that process, or you just go into court and say, I am me?
Okay.
So that's where I'm stuck with that. But
you said a mouthful. Okay, it's I smile because you're you're onto something. Let me just put it that way. But I pause, and I kind of, because I don't like to step on any toes, so to speak. I don't like to, and I have much respect for, other people's information. Okay, but I was. Let me just say, and I don't want to use. Come on.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So the first thing that I want to say, because a lot of people watch videos, and I used to watch videos just trying to pick up the nuggets and the pieces and trying to get lessons. Let me tell you right now, this channel is about empowerment. We're not here to teach. This is not a teaching channel. This is just not where it's at. You want to learn or teach or share, that's going to be in the study group. Okay, we're here to tell our stories and put a human face on the issues that we're going through. Okay, but I will say this, Jason. I will say this again. I will preface it with, I am not an expert. Okay, y'all be trying to do something. Don't put me, don't box me. I'm not an expert, and I'm not a good.
Oh no, I was just saying this is where I'm stuck, where I'm having a.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, everybody has their own process. So,
yeah.
Do I want to go the legal route and do all this paperwork to be secure, or do I want to just stand with God, not have to worry about doing any of this process, and just go in there as myself? So I'm having that dilemma, but I'm pretty sure I'll do the research and figure it out. It's just a question.
It is a dilemma, but the way that I reconciled, because I had that dilemma too, the way that I reconciled it is I held on to the truth of the fact that I am the only one who is an expert on me. So just going by that, I can navigate in any situation, be it public or private, because wherever I am still the one who is the authority over me. So if you, I don't know how to convey that to you other than to say that's how it was reconciled. That's how I was able to reconcile it for myself.
Right.
And so you don't have to choose is the long and short of it. You don't have to choose. You don't have to make a choice. The choice is really, how do you want to handle it? Not how is it supposed to be handled. It's going to be handled the way that you choose, okay? Now, for foreclosures, what I would do or recommend is sending your paperwork to the court. Now, that's considered public, right? But because you're going to a public space and it's not through the mail, which is considered private. But the truth be told, which a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know either, is even going to court is actually a private process, because the courts are private corporations. And what happens inside a private corporation? They have their own rules, they have their own code of conduct, they have their own regulations. You're going in there telling them, well, I'm me, and da-da-da-da-da, and whatever you're in there saying, they're looking at you like it's no different than going to McDonald's and placing an order, but telling them, how to, not how to make your order, because you have a right to do that, but how to, what ingredients to buy. Right. They're looking at you like, who are you? You're not on the board. You're not an owner. You're not an executive. You don't get to have that say. You get to order what we are offering. And so when you are going into the court, they have a lot of leverage and a lot of authority over their processes. So the way that you beat them at their own game is you learn the law, because there are certain laws that usurp their authority. Yeah, they might have a corporation in a bit, but every business has to have a code of conduct in that state. Right. That's how you win. So it doesn't matter if you're going in ranting and raving about, who you are and the UCC this and the UCC that, which I don't do. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me and my processes, because I've come to the understanding that UCC is owned. That's a patent that is owned by the Bar Association. So why would I want to? How are you going to beat them when they own it? They dictate. However, again, I always go back to, even though there's a patent on that process, it still has to run in harmony with the people, with the Constitution. And that's found, I just reviewed it. It was the part of the UCC, I thought I could recall it. There's a part of the UCC that has to run in harmony with the common law. And I know it's UCC 1, but UCC 1 what? Check by the time I post the video, I'll find it and put it in the video description box. But I want to say off the top is UCC 1-106, but there's a point after the 6, and I can't remember. I want to say 0.6, but I'm just guessing. I don't remember. But that goes to show you that, yeah, you can have your McDonald's or your Burger King or your this, that, and the next, or the court here and the court here, but it still has to run in harmony with the state or with the common law, right? And so that's how you win, by knowing how to navigate those things. So that's why you keep hearing people who are defending themselves still, are winning, and like the man who overturned his foreclosure after 14 years. It is possible, but you just have to learn the rules of your case, which includes the rules of that courtroom, common law, and then you just kind of tweak your motion to include all of the mandates that lets them know you're not above the law. You're not above the law, and you're not about to be above me. So here you are. This is who I am. These are the laws that you have to adhere to, Mr. Black Robe Man, you. And you just insist on your rights, because the judges or the administrators, they know that when you put a well put together motion in front of them, and they declare that as denial, or they stamp it denied, that's an automatic appeals case. They know that. And so judges, that's their Achilles heel. They don't know judge wants their case appealed or overturned on appeal. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And so you were right. You were spot on about the trust, okay? Understanding contract law and everything like that. Just to leave the audience, because the audience, they're always looking for a savior. Nobody can save you but yourself. You got to save yourself. But I will put this out there. Expressing the trust means that you're letting them know that they didn't express the trust. They have engaged in collusion or collusive acts, and they created a constructive trust out of fraud. Okay, fraud vitiates everything. Anything coming from fraud, it shuts it down. So when you express the trust, that destroys it closes their constructive trust. Okay, because what that means is, to express the trust means that you're letting them know that you're here to rebut the assumption that you're the trustee. They traded places with you. We didn't know. We didn't know. So they made you the surety, of that constructive trust. Unbeknownst to you, you're just thinking, oh, this is, I have to prove the case, and I have to show them that I'm honorable. No, first of all, whoever brings the matter to the court, that the burden of proof is on them. You never have to prove anything. They have to prove everything. And so we're thinking we have to prove this and we have to prove that, but we didn't know. We didn't know. And so the other thing with going back to expressing the trust, there is a particular document that you need to submit, and it's literally one sentence. That's why when I tell you it's so funny, it's so simple that it's funny and almost scary good, because the heading of that notice is called Notice of Interest, okay? That's it. You're letting them know that this is how you express the trust. You're letting them know that you are the true party of interest, and your correct role in this mess that they started, whoever the they is, the bank or the judge or the lawyers, you are the beneficiary and you are the grantor. Case closed. Trust collapse. One sentence. One. Isn't it hilarious that you really, that could have saved my house? Yes. Notice of interest in all capital letters, bold letters, and that one does not need to be in motion form. It is literally a legal notice, right? It is an exhibit. So exhibits don't have to be in motion form. So you put notice of interest and you're letting them know, I'm the new sheriff in town. Y'all need to get up out of my business. They're basically saying that, I'm just making light of it, but that's what you're saying in a roundabout way, but you're just saying it in a professional manner. That, I am letting you know that I'm the grantor. Remember all of the elements of a trust? Mm-hmm. The grantor, settler, beneficiary, and trustee. Well, they put you in the role of trustee. That way you have all the burden, and if there's any loss, it's going to be experienced by you. No, no, no. The judge is the trustee, or you can appoint anyone as the trustee. They know their roles. You just need to identify yours. When you identify your true role, what can they say but collapse the trust and close the damn case and shut it all down? Okay. Immediately. So you have two, things in your bag now. Okay. So I'm telling you, it's just been a journey of learning. I've had my lows, I've had my highs, the ups and downs, but that's what it is. That's the flow of life. There's ebbs, ebbs. Yeah. So, guys, go out there, fight for what's right, fight for what's true, and maintain your honor while you're on this freedom journey. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get belligerent and cursing people out or even going out starting marches. In the words of Dr. Claude Anderson, he's like, "What you marching for? What you marching?" I was like, right on. Because the pen is mightier than the sword, and a lot of people like to say knowledge is power, which is true, but knowledge executed is more powerful. Just let your pen do the talking for you. So notice of interest, and you're as a fail safe, you have the extension that you want to do, that in motion form, right, with that statement that I sent to you via email. I know we're going to get barrage with what's the statement. I'm going to put the statement in the video description box. Okay, that way you don't have to be emailing me or trying to chase down Jason, because you will get that from people who don't understand. It's not that we're mocking or teasing. It's just that we have our own, battles, and we have our own crosses to bear and dragons to slay and all of that. So I would just recommend joining our free study group, posting your questions, and also posting your journey, because you never know whose life you're going to impact. I cannot stress that enough. We're all in this together. There is no shame and no blame. The blame and the shame is on the wrongdoers for doing this to you and trying their level best to victimize you. But don't stay in victimhood. Move out immediately, and let's work together, and let's start winning these cases. One family at a time, one case at a time, one county at a time, one state at a time. Before you know it, it's a love fest all over this country. That's what I'm trying to spread.
Back to the 70s.
Huh?
Back to the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, the love fest, the love train. Oh yeah, I'm all about that love. Let me tell you. So I just hope that this helped you a little bit, and I'm just very, very thankful and grateful that you agreed to finally do this.
Thank you.
You have no shame in this, brother. No shame. Any final thoughts? Final words?
Just keep fighting and keep doing your research.
Yes.
Everybody, like you said, there's no one process, and everybody's case is a little different, and just keep digging.
Yeah. Don't hide, under the bushes. Just, you're not alone. And that's how they win, is when we don't speak up and speak out. That's how they win, with all of these fraudulent cases going on, not just in foreclosure, just in general. That's how they win. But we are getting our power back, and just by you trying, you're already a winner. You're already a hero. I said that in the other video that encouraged you to do this video. Like, you're already a hero, because do you know how many people don't even try, not even one time? Most people just get the foreclosure notice and they're just like, oh well, I gotta move, I gotta leave, oh well, it's over, it's a wrap. You didn't do that. Oh. You tried, and even though some things were working and some things weren't working, You didn't quit. So you're already ahead of the game. So just feel good in that regard. I know, it's just a token, in the battle, because, you want it to be over, and I get that. I wanted it to be over too in my favor, and I get that. But yeah, keep going, and I hope to see you in the group. Are you going to join the group?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, great. And then, you could just continue to add. If you don't mind, please add, to the group. Don't just come asking questions.
Oh, no, of course not.
Yeah, add what you know, and feed the team, because we all need the help, to endure this. This is not easy by any stretch. And so, again, I'm going to put the notice, the verbiage for the notice on the, for both notices actually, in the video description box. So please don't write me on that. Just join the group and contribute to the group. Contribute your story, or even if you find a new case law, post it.
Yeah,
post it. It's free.
Yeah.
And don't just put it in the comments, because comments get buried and we can miss, juicy nuggets like that. Post it. It's a new. Don't be shy. There's just no need for that.
Yeah, no, I won't be.
So thank you, Jason. I really appreciate the time. This was amazing. You are amazing. I'm just so
you as well. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, that's why I reached out to you, and why I keep in contact.
How did you find me, come to think of it? I don't even know. If you're not in the group, from the YouTube?
The Facebook page was first, and then...
Oh, the business page. Oh, okay.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, the business council.
Yeah.
People always forget the council part. Council, because the reason council is so important, because that's the team, that's the network, that's the equality part of it. So yeah. Oh, from the business page. Oh, okay. So something I'm doing is working. I'm learning this social media stuff. It is a lot to learn. But yeah, so thank you again. And again, people, just look in the video description box before you ask a bunch of questions and join us. We need you. We need you to survive. We need all of us to survive. So say it again.
I said I will do. I'll join.
Okay. Yay, we got another hero. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate it. And
thank you.
You're welcome, and I'll see you in the group, okay?
All right. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Sign off. Bye. I don't really have an official sign off. I just be like, bye. Bye, you guys.